Today I'm meeting with Stacy Allerton from the Smith family. Thank you so much for joining me again today, Stacey. Stacey is a savings and money-minded coach, and she also works within the Saver Plus program within the Smith family. We're here today to discuss financial literacy for university students. How can financial literacy impact a student's future?
We know that it's best to try to learn more than one skill at the same time. So it's really interesting. There's lots of research that tells us the more skills we try to learn at the same time, the better outcome we have, which is very surprising. That's not what I would think. I like to try and keep things simple. So look, while you're studying, you have a great opportunity to not only learn about the profession that you hope to move into, but also to learn better skills in managing money, to set yourself up for success and to have some clear goals for yourself about what you would like to achieve financially.
Yeah, I definitely think there's, with the cost of living and as well all the pressures that you have being a young adult, I think
Yes. Look, the more knowledge you have, the better. Absolutely. And the earlier you can start practicing some of these money management skills, the better. That's for sure.
And definitely this time is the perfect time, as a university student. This is when you can experiment and
a little bit, yes, definitely. You might not have the same degree of financial commitment, particularly credit commitments, as someone who is later in life.
Yeah. Amazing. So many students struggle with budgeting and saving. What are some common financial mistakes that university students make, and how can they avoid them?
That's a really interesting question, because I think when it comes to managing money, we are really hard on ourselves and we're really good at blaming ourselves and telling ourselves we've made mistakes or done things wrong, whereas I think it's probably a little bit more healthy and helpful to see ourselves as learning as we go and to hold ourselves and the strategies that we use for managing money with compassion. So I think rather than say common financial mistakes, I think there are some common traps that we can fall into. One of those traps, I think, often as a university student, juggling a really busy lifestyle around working, studying, trying to get all your assessment done and having a life as well, it's really easy to lose track of where your money is going. So sometimes when I connect with students, the first thing that I might suggest is that they start writing down what they spend as they buy it, which sounds really onerous, but it's not as bad as it sounds, I promise. That gives you a good sense of knowing where your money is going, because the reality is we are juggling a lot in our everyday lives and you can end up spending more than you realise.
So I think it's definitely a big thing about well-being around finances and how you approach it from a mindset perspective.
Yes, definitely. Look, so I am a bit of a fan of positive psychology, so I really encourage everybody who is thinking about how they manage their money to use a growth mindset and to reflect upon what have they experienced in the past and what did they learn from that? What can they do differently, rather than focusing on I made a big mistake. It's really not helpful.
Yeah, every day is a new start. And
yes,
you can
definitely.
Always start a new strategy. You can always do something different.
Definitely. Look, and you need often an opportunity to reflect upon what you're doing with your money with somebody who is independent of you, just in the same way that you might benefit from speaking therapeutically to a counsellor or a psychologist who is independent.
Yeah, you get different little perspectives and everything. Yeah, amazing. So, what are your top tips for budgeting for students who have financial pressures such as groceries, their course fees, as well as unexpected expenses as well?
So there's a couple of different strategies that I would suggest. I think when you do have a really tight budget, it is important to know where your money is going and to make sure you have a clear goal for yourself. So if you're trying to save, making sure that your goal is achievable and realistic and only a small amount of money. So often we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, trying to expect ourselves to save while we are living on a really tight budget. Maybe the goals that we have set for ourselves are not sustainable or realistic. In terms of really practical steps that people can take to try to manage their finances in a cost of living crisis, I guess ensuring that when you're buying groceries, you're using strategies like checking unit pricing, that you're accessing the supports that are in the community for students. So things like the Ask Izzy website is a really useful way to find free and low cost food and free and low cost services that will kind of help you navigate the cost of living. So I think it is important to really ask for help. Very often we think other people are doing it tougher than me. And we feel a bit of guilt or discomfort about asking for help. I would really encourage people to notice that feeling of discomfort and ask for help anyway. Chat to your student union. Chat to the professional staff here at the university. Access some of the resources online, like Ask Izzy, to get extra help if you're having a tough time. There is a surprising amount out there if you know where to look, and you can certainly get some short-term relief or support, financial support to pay for unexpected utility bills or expenses.
Yeah, and I think especially that you highlighted about at the university, I know we have the Griffith University Mutual Aid Society.
Oh, gee, I didn't know about that.
Which is absolutely amazing. They do lots of different things. They stock up. We have a student pantry.
Oh, wonderful.
Which is amazing. And
that is wonderful.
Yeah, they have frozen meals. They have, unperishables and all different things. They also have recently done a clothing library where,
amazing idea.
Yeah, so people donate, it could be anyone, they donate some clothes, and then so university students, they just come up when they do their little pop-ups, and you just take what you need, and
that's a lovely idea, and what a lovely community you have at Griffith.
And I think as well, I might just promote the repair cafes that we do,
of course.
Which is how we met.
Yes, promote the absolutely promote the repair cafes. I'm often trying to encourage people that I connect with in the community to access a repair cafe.
Yeah, I think they're absolutely wonderful initiatives, and you get to learn some skills as well. You get something repaired for free instead of going to, a tailor who might cost double the price of the pants to just shorten them or something like that.
Absolutely. It's a lovely way for community members to connect as well.
Definitely, yeah. And I think at Griffith, there's all sorts of support. I know that there's a Support Griffith website. I'm not sure what it's called, but if you Google Support at Griffith, and it has all things about, you can get extensions, you can get
really good.
Things, counselling as well. I'm pretty sure you get 3 free counselling sessions with the Special Griffith counselling people, and there's all sorts of support as well. And I think it's wonderful how, because Griffith, they really like their sustainability and they promote that a lot. I think that's one thing that makes Griffith really amazing. So
lovely. You're very lucky to be studying here. It sounds like.
Yeah, and I think as well, there's programs outside, like your programs that we've talked about. That if you read the other article that I've published recently, which is on the Saver Plus and Money Minded programs, of which you run that. And and I think they're absolutely incredible for students who are eligible. And there's lots of programs out there that are absolutely amazing.
There is. You don't know till you look.
Exactly. And going on from that, what are some resources that you would suggest for students to explore their financial well-being and support them?
So there are quite a few free resources out in the community. I think one resource that we overlook is Centrelink. So Centrelink has a free financial information service. So you can call Centrelink on the number that you usually call, ask to speak to a financial information service officer, and you'll be connected to a staff member who really understands the Centrelink system inside and out. So they will be able to help you to clarify, what are you eligible for? Are you eligible for anything else that you haven't considered? As well as supporting you to make decisions about your money. So they're a financial education program that's one-on-one in a lot of ways. They also have lots of free webinars about financial wellbeing more broadly, that are useful for you to upskill. You can just log in and listen anytime, but I really can't underemphasise how great your free financial information service officer at your local Centrelink or via Teams or Zoom, how useful they can be. There's also a really great website. So there's a free financial wellbeing website funded by the Australian government that's called Money Smart, and there are lots of practical strategies and information and advice that you can read free of charge. So they've recently redeveloped that website in the last couple of years. It's much easier to use and can really help you get on top of your finances really quite quickly and easily. One of my other tips, I think, is to do a bit of a Google and look for free newsletters. So most money magazines or people writing in the financial wellbeing space will have a free newsletter to sign up for, including, your bank, including your superannuation company. And so getting a free newsletter in your inbox every so often reminds you to think about your money situation, and it's an easy way to upskill yourself, because reading an email doesn't take you too long. But that's it. They're often really useful sources of support and information, and like I said, they help bring to mind the need to think about your money from time to time.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's really important is to consider where you're getting the information from.
Yes.
Yes, and as you've mentioned a lot of how there's banks and government initiatives, which I think that is the best place to get your financial information, definitely.
Yes.
And yeah, I think this is an amazing lot of resources that you've just mentioned for this. And yeah, thank you very much for all of this.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
And thank you so much for your time today, Stacey. It's been absolutely incredibly insightful learning about all of these tips that you have and about the programs that you've mentioned and how they can support your financial well-being. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Ashleigh.